my battle. He was zealous for my zealousness. And of course, we know what happened, right? Last week's parsha, in the end of the parsha, that the Jewish people had this terrible incident with the daughters of Moab in a place called Shittim. And that the leader of the tribe of Shimon, called Zimri, he took one of the princes, the princess or something of Moab, and he had relations with her in front of everybody, and nobody knew what to do, and even Moses didn't know what to do. Everybody was they didn't know what the law was. And came this Pinchas, and he knew what the law was, and he took things into his own hands, and he speared both of them together. It says he speared them both together, and he held them up high, and they didn't slide down the spear, and they must have weighed a tremendous amount. They said there were 10 miracles that happened on that day. And he ran around showing everybody why he speared them. And that everyone saw, and they all took the lesson what it was, and he stopped the anger of God on the Jewish people, because all the Jewish people were about to follow the example that Zimri, evil example that he gave them. And why did Zimri do this? Why did it happen? Because Bilam gave advice. He couldn't curse the Jews, but he realized that he would, by pretending to do the Jews a big favor, that would be the worst thing. What he presented to them, all these not Jewish girls, and the Jewish men just could not hold themselves back. They thought, this is the most wonderful thing in the world, right? Who said these Moabite people, they were our enemies? They're our best friends. And this is exactly the opposite of what God wanted. But the Jewish people, they brought it on themselves. So Bilam got the secret that Napoleon realized thousands of years later. That by being friendly to the Jews and being nice to them, by opening up all the doors of pleasures of this world, as Jews will, on their own free will, leave Judaism. So came along Pinchas, and he took things into his own hand, and he stabbed these people, and he held them up on this big pole and this big spear, and he ran around with them. So, I mean, a gruesome, very gruesome thing, but nevertheless, everybody understood the point. They understood that what he had done was a big miracle, and how he was running around was a big miracle that nothing happened to him. So it says that because Pinchas did this, Hineni noten lo et briti shalom, I am giving him my gift of peace. God says. When der Eibishter had gesagt, and God said, had given, and so what did God give him? Kuhunat olam, you will be a priest, a Kohen. Pinchas was born before the Kohanim were made. The law was that Aaron became a Kohen and his sons became Kohen. Everyone that was born after Aaron started deciding who was a Kohen, they were Kohanim. And Pinchas was born before. So therefore, because he missed out, he wasn't a Kohen. But because he did this deed, he became a Kohen. Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron, he was a Kuhunat Olam. Im und sein Kinder, him and his children forever would be Kohanim. I'm sorry, this is covered up by this. Can you go up, scroll up a little bit? Dem must, I don't know what this word is. Okay, as the Kohuna is showing from freer Yegeven Gavoren to Zaro Shel Aaron. The Kohanim, who was going to be a Kohen, was already given earlier to Aaron, is as Noch Gegeven Gavoren to Aaron. It was Nor Gegeven, it was given to Aaron. Could you scroll down, please? Hello? Can you scroll down, please? No. All right. Let me, not good to be dependent on others. Here we go. Oh, there we go. What's it? What? Okay, here we go. Sein Kinder werden nimshach geworden mit ihm und I'm sorry. Und seine Kinder, was es gewesen, nimshach geworden mit ihm und euch seine Kinder, was sie haben gehabt nach der Mashiach. The only people that became Kohanim were those people, those that were born after Aaron was anointed. And Pinchas is aber geworden freer. Pinchas was born before Aaron was chosen to be a Kohen. Therefore, he lost out. He wasn't the Kohen. Und is euch nicht gesalbt geworden. Therefore is nicht gekommen zu Kohuna, bis hat geharget Zimmer. And he also, therefore, he did not become a Kohen until after he killed. Right. He was not, Gezalp means he wasn't anointed. He was not anointed, but with oil. So therefore he was not anointed and he was born too early. Therefore he was not a Kohen. By killing Zimri, he became a Kohen. Darfman verstehen, says the Rebbe, we have to understand. Far avoda get menschar. If a person does work, you get a reward. On was the avoda is gresser, and the greater service you do is as hecher, and the higher the service is als gresser the schar. Right? A person who's a brain surgeon gets paid more than a person who cleans the floors in the hospital. The greater the service, the greater the reward. Aber kohuna is the nit kein inyan from schar. But to become a Kohen, you can't, this is not a thing that you can get by a reward. You can't pay somebody and make him into a Kohen. Nor ze is noch was gehört zu Teva. This is nature. After Aaron was chosen to be the Kohen, everyone after him that was born after he was chosen to be Kohen also was a Kohen. This is a thing which is inside of a Jew, like the difference between a Jew and a non-Jew. A Jew is a Jew. If you have a Jewish mother, then you're a Jew. You don't have a Jewish mother, you're not a Jew. You can go through a process and become a Jew. The Torah says you can convert, become a Jew. But you can't come to, according to the Torah, you can't do any process and become a Kohen. It doesn't work that way. This is Teva. Teva, Aaron, the nature of Aaron. Please scroll down. There we go. The nature of Aaron, that's enough, thank you. The nature of Aaron and his sons is, B'shas der Eibishter hat gehasten. When God said to anoint Aaron and his sons, hat zei dann abgeteilt. He divided them off, separated them from all the rest of the Jews, and zei geheiligt, and made them holy. Via state, like it says, v'yavdil Aaron v'haktisheu. God said, divide out, separate Aaron. He told Moshe, separate Aaron and sanctify him, Kodesh Kadoshim LaHashem, that he became holy of holies to God. So if so, it's not understandable. Ain't moving, please scroll down to the beginning. Ain't moving, it's not understood. If so, since that Pinchas on his own, he was a Kohen, Pinchas was not a Kohen. Oh, but this, what is this? I have to find this here. Okay, it can't that Pinchas and himself was not a Kohen, so how could he merit to be a Kohen? Somehow or other the numbers got messed up. Kohen by his service of stabbing Zimri and the lady. How could he possibly do that? We've lost the place. We're not now on paragraph base. What happened? What happened? What happened? Where are we? Huh? Here, base. Oh. Nachdem, afterwards, where the Torah tells us the story about Pinchas and all the things which were there, given verbunden, and everything that is connected to this and everything that came out that resulted from Cohen, Dan Anzag or Melchama to make a war against Midian, and then counting the Jews. Was this Gekumen which came? Go on, please, the next page. Can I do the next page? Can I do it? No. Huh? Have I got control of this thing? No. The next page, please. Can I control the page? No, I can't control the page. Wait, just mess things up. Okay, good. Yeah, their Tzelt talks about the war that they made with Midian, and finally it talks about dividing up the land of Israel, as vegan them Hatmanos from Yeshua, and then finally in the end it talks about how Moses picked Yeshua, that he was going to replace Moses, right, when they to take them into the land of Israel. Darnach, and afterwards, by the very end of the Sedra, it comes the thing of the korbanos, so the sacrifices, which some of the sacrifices, like it's the 2 loaves of bread that are brought on Shavuos, and all the other sacrifices of the congregation and the wine offerings. Hot men can't makriv sein only in the land of Israel. So after this, it talks about a lot of the war they made with Midian and the preparation to going into the land of Israel, picking Yehoshua to be the one who takes them into Israel, telling about the sacrifices that are made only when they come into the land of Israel. Vibal, because as vegan the alle inyanim, which were told in their Sedra, was veret angerufen, and the name of Pinchas. So the whole entire portion, Torah reading, is called Pinchas. So if it's all called Pinchas, the whole portion, so it must be that everything in the Torah portion, namely the war that they made with Midian afterwards, and the fact that he chose Yoshua, and the fact that they talked about the sacrifices they're going to make in the land of Israel, is the Knesset, it's Israel, and all of the other Zachan, all of the things which are connected, all of them must have a connection to this Pinchas. Pinchas was just one story that was in the beginning of the portion. The whole portion talks about other things. It doesn't continue about what happened to Pinchas and who he became and what he did, right, and his life story and the children that he had, and it didn't talk about that. It talks about totally different things, the whole Torah portion. Says the Rebbe, they're not totally different things. If the whole portion is called by the name of Pinchas, it must be that all the other things that come afterwards, the war that they made with Midian and the picking of Yoshua to take them in, all these things must be connected deeply to Pinchas. As durach them avoda, by means of this work of Pinchas, as kumpmen, then only through this can we come to the land of Israel. The whole idea of coming to the land of Israel somehow or other is connected very, very essentially to Pinchas. And that what Pinchas did, this crazy thing that he killed these people and he risked his life, what does one have to do with the other? We'll see. Let's go a little further. Please scroll down. Is that where it is? No. Yeah, scroll down a little bit, please. A little more. Just a little more. There we go. Razal Zagan, the Torah says, as Il Malachatu, that if the Jewish people would not have sinned, Veltshoin done by the Erster Kanisa Eretz Israel. If the Jewish people had not sinned with the golden calf or whatever, then they would have gone into Israel immediately. Gaven the Geula Shleimad, and they would have gone into Israel, and there would have been the total redemption of the Jewish people. They would have built the Holy Temple. They would have, all the Jews would have, they were already together. The whole world would have been perfected. There would be no more confusion in the world. Eventually no more sickness, and eventually no more death. Hagam, even though the Papola didn't come out that way, there was no total redemption, and the Jews wandered around in the desert for 40 years. Is up or moving, but it's understood as in pratim, in certain details, is thus a Ryan Gain in Eretz Israel, when they did go into the land of Israel finally, Gaven Enlich, it must be something similar to the future redemption. It's a very interesting thing. What in the world is the future redemption got to do with the land of Israel? I mean, what is the future redemption? The future redemption is simply that every Jew will feel what a Jew is. And every non-Jew will feel what a creation is. And everything in the world will be the way God intended it to be. And the whole world will work in a perfect, harmonious way. And everybody will be different and everybody will be unique. And their uniqueness will contribute to the oneness and to the harmony, to the beauty of the world. Right? And that's it. What do the Jews have to come to the land of Israel for? Let them stay where they are. They have synagogues. And they can visit Israel regularly. They can visit Israel, when the holidays. Before the holidays, they can come to Israel, to the Holy Temple. What do all the Jews have to be in the land of Israel? What's so important? God promised it to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. It's such an important thing. The land of Israel, God had given to the land of Israel. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they went through such terrible things, terrible tests. And what was their promise? God didn't promise them you're going to go to heaven and you're going to have a beautiful revelations of God. It's going to be something incredibly. No, God says you're going to go to the land of Israel. That's the best thing you can do. God can give them a plot of land. What? Go to heaven. Heaven is eternal bliss, infinite pleasure, right? The revelation of the essence of whatever meaning and love. Who knows what? Heaven. No, God didn't. In the whole 5 books of Moses, God doesn't talk about heaven. There were even some people that made big mistake and said that there's no such thing as heaven and hell. There's no reward and punishment. That was the Tzedukim in the end. You have to take the Torah literally. It's not so. There really is such a thing as heaven, but it's not important. The main thing is this world. This world, going to the land of Israel. Why? How could that possibly? Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? Eternal bliss? Come on. Who doesn't want eternal bliss? No, land of Israel is the main thing. Why? Because that's a very central thing. We'll see why. With this, what's the Knesset Israel going into the land of Israel? All the Jews. One of the big things of Mashiach is going to build a temple, and the temple is going to draw all the Jews to the land of Israel. Is given bedoma to the Gula Atida. So that which the Jews did go into the land of Israel, this is similar to the future redemption. As vet, let's just go up to the next one, and then I'm going to tell a story, and then we can continue our day. Just to the top of the page. Vet, that's it. Vet men verstehen. We can understand what is the importance of going to the land of Israel. And how is it that the Jews going into the land of Israel back then was the preparation for going into the land of Israel that's going to be in the future. And what this has to do with Pinchas. The whole thing of going into the land of Israel is connected with Pinchas. Because the chapter is called by the name of Pinchas, and this is the chapter where they're really preparing to go into the land of Israel. In fact, there was other chapters where they were preparing, but they didn't go in. Shalach, they didn't. We can understand the fabun, the connection with the going into the land of Israel with Pinchas. Well, Pinchas, because it says that Pinchas is Elijah the prophet. Pinchas, it says, is Elijah the prophet. Where does it say that? One second. Pinchas is Elijah the prophet. Pinchas is Eliyahu.
Pinchas was blessed with peace.
He's blessed with peace, but it also says,
life.
Yes. Oh, here it is, 8. It's in the Targum Yonasan and Parshas Va'era. And it's also in the Zohar. And it's also in Pirkei the Rabbi Eliezer, and it's Yalkut Shimoni, and it's also Midrash Agada, and it's Rashi and Baba Metzia. The Rebbe used to write down all these things, just write them all down, all these footnotes. So what has it got to do? Pinchas, this is Elijah the prophet. Elijah the prophet is Pinchas. Okay, we're going to see that this makes no sense. How can we say that Pinchas is Elijah the prophet? Elijah the prophet was like, 600-700 years after Pinchas, right? Pinchas was before the Jewish people went into the land of Israel. Well, I mean, he went into the land of Israel, so they went. So Pinchas was about 600 years before Elijah the prophet. How can you say Pinchas, that is Elijah the prophet? It should say Elijah the prophet, that's Pinchas. How can it be? We'll see. And we'll see what this has to do with going into the land of Israel also. Good.